Hey guys, welcome back. This is another StarCraft 2 commentary. It's actually a beautiful Saturday. It finally stopped snowing, so that's great stuff. Anyways, let's get back to our Katowice finals. Of course, this is the third game between StarCraft and MVPDream. Of course, on the top right we do have MVPDream as the blue Terran player, and on the bottom left we do have IEM as the red Protoss player. Other than that, I don't know, I think I will be playing again today a little bit of SimCity, as the open beta is going to be open. That's pretty funny, the open beta is going to be actually open, so I am going to be playing a little bit of open beta again. You know, I think it's going to be open again for 24 hours, so hopefully they have unlocked more stuff to play. I'm not sure. I don't think so. I do believe that they just fixed a couple of bugs in terms of that, so that'd be something nice to see. Anyways, let's get back to the game itself. Of course, MVPDream going for that wall off as soon as possible. Did place that supply depot just to wall it off. This is going to continue finishing that, not yet anyways. The SCV is going across the map. He's going to prevent, of course, the scout coming down by IEM. He's going to be going, of course, for the supply depot, but that's not going to happen, so he is obviously going to be going back. I'm not sure if he's going to try going for the actual SCV. No, he's going to decide to retreat. And of course, he did spot that second base, so MVPDream did spot that out. We do have the bunker being placed down here. Of course, the actual probe is going to be moving down here, and this is, I think, a psych off. I don't think this is going to happen at all. He is not actually, no, he is. He's actually planning to use that actual bunker, so that's pretty interesting to see. He is actually going in for the initial harass, though. He is, of course, pulling down the probes, and he's going to be trying to attack. This is, of course, in terms of seeing that IEM did go for that second nexus, so he knows he's not going to have any units up and ready. He is chrono boosting that stalker, so to hopefully help him out, he really needs this bunker to be completed, but I don't think that's going to be happening. And not enough marines. Even though he's going to try to kite these probes, he's going to make a lot of damage, but this is not going to happen. Once that stalker comes out, which he already did, that is the end of MVPDream's initial harass, and that's it. He should cancel the actual bunker itself, or if he's going to still try to go for it, I'm not sure. He did cancel it out, of course. The actual marine is going to try to get at least a pot shot off on the probe, and that is the end of the actual beginning game harass coming down by MVPDream. So this is, I think this is going to be a little bit quiet for a little bit of time. He's probably going to be countering back, as he did prove to make a little bit of damage if we do have 5 to 4 workers killed, as he did, remember, pull down a couple of SCVs to build that bunker up. So pretty much it's on the same terms. If that bunker doesn't come up, he's going to have a little bit of difficult time in terms of taking care of the stalker, but we'll see exactly how this happens. He's going to be baited in. Of course, he won't be baited in. He needs to complete this bunker and jump into the bunker as soon as possible. That's pretty much it. Both players are on 2 bases so far. In terms of resources lost, they are again very similar, 200 to 300. MVPDream, of course, losing a little bit more in terms of the actual successful initial harass. This stalker is going to be pushed back, and that is the end of that. He's going to load up into the bunker, and I don't know why he doesn't do that now. Why is he keeping an actual wall off of SCVs here? So it's really interesting to see why he doesn't do that. Anyways, let's get back to the gameplay itself. Second nexus is up. We do have gases coming online as well, so hopefully the robotics base should come out initially with the actual observer. Then he'll probably be moving into a little bit of more gateway units built, so probably stalkers, a little bit of mix of immortals. We'll see. So far no Stargate, though. We do have a lot of gas already online, so maybe we'll see a little bit of upgrades. Maybe the High Templar will be also used in the game as well. So the first Marauder is out. That should pretty much easily counter the Stalker. The Stalker, of course, sees this. He's going to be kiting as much as possible. Unfortunately, the Marauder didn't have the concussive shell, so he did manage to slow the Stalker down. That would have maybe given a Dream a single kill and being able to take out the Stalker. So so far the central map, of course, goes down to MVPDream, and he's already starting his stim research. So maybe we do have, you can see, barracks build. Starport's going to be a hot swap with the actual factory, and then we should see those double Metamax in production. So far we do have 2 tech labs, so double Marauder and double Marine production, which is sort of nice to see that there's going to be on equal production terms for those units. Observer finally completed, though. Here comes the first observer. Second observer again is being produced, and did he actually? Yes, he is going for the gateway unit. So finally we do have more gateways come online. We do have 3 gateways in total now. Maybe he'll be placing down a 4th. A lot of gas in production, though, so he is going to be, of course, looking to spend that gas. He already has 300 gas stored up, so really interesting to see how he decides to use that actual stocked up gas. Now, a lot of Marines being moved down to the center of the map, so we should hopefully see a little bit of counter push, and the center of the map will go back down to, of course, MVPDream. So the question is, will this actually be effective? He will spot this out, so he will retreat with the Stalkers, try to kite as much as possible. Of course, he will be losing that. Stimmed up units should be pretty much be able to catch up with the Stalker. He will be able to take one of them out, probably even the second one. Very nice stim. He counted both of them, scanned down, took out the actual observer. Really nice play by MVPDream that he could spot out the actual cloaked observer. I don't know why the hell I forgot that word. Never mind. So the factory scout is probably going to be moving forward. He's going to be probably moving the scout across the actual map. I'm not sure. He's salvaging the actual bunker, so he's not even going to be bothered using the actual bunker itself. Since we're at the 9-minute mark, he probably doesn't really need that bunker anyway, so I do believe that factory is going to be moving forward. Finally, medevacs coming into play, double medevacs, and we should have continuous production from all pretty much the bunkers except one. As you do see, all the research, we do have the combat shield, including the concussive shell and 1-1 upgrade, zealot charge as well, including the 1 upgrade. Unfortunately, the Colossus is there as well, so far he does know that, so hopefully when he does spot that out, MVPDream will suddenly start to get his actual Raven production online. He's going for that destructible delivery, so the third Nexus is in play so far. Stimmed up units should pretty much be able to mop this up, but unfortunately, once that Colossus comes on or in play, including those Zealots, I don't think he'll be able to push that forward, especially the composition now. We have 2 sentries fully charged with energy, so plenty of force fields to be placed down, 2 more gateways, so we're going to have a 5 gateway build by first, and only 3 or 4 barracks by MVPDream, so I don't know why he's really low on his actual racks count here. I don't know why he's not really going all in terms of his actual push. There's no way he'll be able to push that through, especially with the 2 Colossus. So none of that is happening though. He's just going to be prodding and pushing. If he does get him out of place, he could maybe do a little bit of damage. Unfortunately, he does decide to retreat a little bit too late. In case the actual ball was on the other side, the Protoss ball was on the 3rd base, he could have maybe snuck in, did a little bit of damage, lost all his units, but the damage would have been worth the sacrifice. Will he spot this actual observer? I think he might actually spot this observer, but of course he will be able to push out. IEM First knows that he'll be able to push out the observer streaming across the map. Does he spot this out? This is the question. Let's take a look if he actually does spot this out. So there's no way you can spot that. There's no way you can spot that unless it doesn't move. So finally the push did come out. Of course the force fields, plenty of force fields there. This is the sacrificial factory scout. He's going to be preventing the actual 3rd Nexus from coming down, which is actually his intentions, of course. He's going to be moving the factory down to the right side, and the Archons, I think, should be able to take this out if he does decide to chase the actual factory down, but not sure if he'll actually let that be baited though. Waiting for those 400 minerals, which he does have. I don't know why he doesn't place that actual Nexus down. Finally places down a little bit late in terms of placement there. He had 700 minerals, or a little bit late in terms of that happening. The charge again is being researched. We do have a level 2 and a very nicely snuck, and he did manage to kill that off. Unfortunately, he did load him up. He does expect the push coming out and moving down. Very sneaky by MVPDream, not seen by IEM First, so he did lose 400 resources, which is quite a lot in the beginning of the game, and he's going to have to be forced to reposition, of course, rescout the actual back side of the actual position. He should load him up and move him back down. Again, a little bit of mismicro by MVPDream. He's going to lose a lot of resources, not really necessary though. He could have gotten away with that. Unfortunately, not quick enough. I'm so sorry. I'm so damn. I don't know why the hell's wrong with me. So factory's going to be going down. I don't know why he doesn't move it into the actual base to get an additional scouting. 2 upgrades, of course, coming in for MVPDream. We do have cloak research, so we should see maybe ghosts or banshees. I presume maybe banshees will be coming into play. No, we're going to have ghosts. Ghost is coming online. So the question is it going to be going for a nukes or not, or just going to be a ghost play using those EMPs to take out the actual sentry energy, and of course proving a little bit of havoc in terms of first dealing with cloaked ghosts. So time will tell. Of course, we do have a pylon here to start off with a little bit of harass, so ghosts should hopefully, I don't think they'll be able to deal with this, but the question is, he does see this, of course, he does spot this out. He does spot that the actual zealots are coming in. Unfortunately, he won't be able to do nothing in terms of this. He doesn't have anything. Again, very nice harass by him first. He's going to be moving and taking care of these actual drones. A lot of them are going to fall, and the zealots, of course, are going to fall as well, even though the charge has been there. That is the end of the harass. He did manage to take away, I think, like 2 more. 2 more workers and SCVs. Of course, he did know that the pylon must have been there in terms of how the zealots walked through. And finally, push is coming down by IEM First. He does split them up again. I don't know why he is splitting them up in such a way. The scan comes down, takes out the actual unit. Zealot drops. He did of course spot that out, so he does split them off. We do have the Psionic Storm again, so MVPDream will have to start making his splits in terms of moving forward. Especially, we will see those Archons in play. Zealots charge up, but there's nothing really much they can do. They will drop very, very quickly. Finally, the probe is retreating, of course, going to be chased down by this one Marine, and that is the end of that, including this pylon as well. So far, everything much is pretty spotted. Only this hidden pylon that's also been spotted as well is going to be dropped. So MVPDream really making sure all his units are all over the map, really countering, scouting, everything that IEM First is deciding to do in terms of sneak attacks. We already have the 3 upgrades coming down for MVPDream, a little bit ahead in terms of his upgrades, while IEM First is on 2-2s, MVPDream is on his actual 3s. Finally, he's getting his thermal lance for his actual Colossus, increasing that range just a little bit. Again, those three zealots are going to be moving across. This Marine will spot them up, so they will be stopped and countered. And here you do have the stimmed up Marines taking care of that, including the actual Ghosts. So more than enough to deal with the actual Zealots. So that is the end of the Zealots being pincered in, and that is the end of that harass. Finally, moving forward, this should be spotted. Of course, the scan comes down, so he does see this actual ball is here. We do finally have the High Templar there, so storms are going to be coming in. A split, of course, is going to be happening to the actual units, and as you do see, very nicely split by MVPDream, and very successful. Again, another harass is coming down by IEM First. He just slips it up. He's going to be losing 1 SCV, but no real big deal there. The SCV is going to be returned back to the base. A couple of 3 Ghosts should be able to deal with the Zealot. So that is the end of the actual Zealot. Ghosts very effective in terms of dealing with the Zealots, using of course the SCVs to hold the actual Zealot. So very, very nice play between both the players. A little bit of counter coming in, a couple of storms being placed down. These actual unfortunately, the Vikings are going all in. He's presuming to see that there might be any more Colossus. He hid them up nicely tucked away in the back, so unfortunately lost a lot of Vikings for really nothing. And he is really trying to get those Colossus who are tucked away, so not really going to happen there though. But very nice storm placement again by IEM First. Going to be moving forward again. Another storm placement, very nicely juiced up. Juicy placement, sorry, juiced up, I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean. Very nice juicy placement for that storm. He did get into the middle of the bio ball. Bio ball is pretty much on the end of its existence. Medevac is going to drop. Reinforcements coming in. A lot of reinforcements should be able to take care of that. But if he doesn't make those splits, the Psionic Storms will pretty much mop up those units. We do have the War Prison, so we should see a little bit of War Prison harass to counteract the actual aggressive push coming in by MVPDream. So far, he is really consisting of keeping it a bio build, bio marauder, ghost build. No nukes so far in play though. It would be really interesting to see if he does decide to get a nuke in play. Maybe he could use that nuke to block off and force those units, or the actual Protoss ball from not moving in and taking care of any base. So we finally have another pylon being placed down here. So he might be going in for the actual 5th Nexus though. He does see all the actual probes streaming across the map, so he knows that there is a base. He's going to be moving down. Of course, IEM First knows that that's going to be coming. They did spot that War Prison, so the War Prison might be used to actually warp down. No, it's going to be rallied all across the map, so it's going to be rallied down to start an actual harass on his actual primary base, which is pretty much nearly mined out, so not really much he can do there. But again, any certain amount of damage in terms of structural damage will be very key. If a Psionic Storm comes down here, it's going to be very, very effective. You do see those splits again. A Psionic Storm did get placed down on the bottom right, and more Psionic Storms are being placed down all around the place. Very effective positioning, and should be able to mop that out. Again, unfortunately, MVPDream is not able to actually split those Marines effective enough to deal with this, especially with the backup up the Colossus with the Thermal Lance. It's proving to be very, very effective. Now, finally, he's going to be moving forward, moving in. He should be able to deal with that. Zealot Charge should be able to mop up the last of the actual Ghosts, and that is the end of that. He did raise the actual structure. So unfortunately, IEM First didn't go directly for the main base. He could have maybe did more damage going for the main base. He's going to be going for secondary bases, so that's really good to tell. Of course, the Observer did drop, and this is going to be mopped up. He's going to be repairing the actual planetary, so hopefully the planetary will be able to survive. But of course, the actual SCVs that are repairing the planetary will be taking out. A lot of storms coming down, preventing any push from happening there. IEM First really happy with what happened there, deciding to retreat, but doesn't really care. We do have that factory that has landed here. And unfortunately, this isn't the actual Heart of the Swarm, so we could have had maybe a couple of Widow Mines being produced and moved down to actually continue harassing the actual production line, which would have been very, very key, but this is not going to be happening in this game so far. More Archons being warped in the Dark Shrine as well, so finally he's going to be switching down to the actual Dark Shrine, which is going to be a little bit more interesting. We do have that War Prison. I'm not sure, I think I did miss the actual War Prison harass, I'm sorry about that. And more pylons being placed out, another scout out happening from here. We do have that planetary that's going to be coming into play. So far MVPDream's actual composition is not enough to deal with this at all, especially his measly actual build up with a few Marines and a lot of Ravens to deal with those Colossus is not going to be able to counter this. He really needs to either switch to mech or have a much heavier, higher composition to be able to deal with this amount of, with this Protoss ball. This Protoss ball is completely obsolete in terms of power in relation to MVPDream's composition. The War Prison is here, of course, just keeping an eye out on the factory in case anything is happening there. Nothing is happening in terms of the actual factory itself. IEM Fist is not going to even be bothered wasting his time dealing with that. Do we have the actual gravity boosters? Yes, we do have the gravity boosters coming online. Interesting upgrades for IEM First. IEM First does place down that scan, but I don't really think that anything can happen here, though. Even though we do have a lot of ghosts, a lot of Ravens, and a lot of Marines, that composition is very, very weak in terms of the actual IEM First composition. And look at the supply. He is at 199, 200 to 140. So this is not going to be going good for MVPDream at all. This second actual command center is going to be dropped very, very quickly, and of course we do have that storm being placed down, forcing the actual heavy bio build to stay away, and another drop is going to be happening for this actual planetary. I do believe that he should be able to take out the Zealots as the repairs will continue. The question is, will he be able to take out the Zealots or not? The repairs are going to be continuing. He's going to be moving down a couple of Ravens and of course his bio ball. He's going to try to keep this alive as much as possible. But again, the composition by MVPDream is very, very weak. No tanks to support the actual lines. Very, very bio heavy build. The scan coming down, he will spot this out, and especially we do have those Colossus. So the question is, will he finally be able to move down those Ravens? Ravens should be moving in down, taking care of these Colossus. Of course, a very nice Ionic Storm coming in. Will the Ravens move down finally to take care of this? A split, of course, by MVPDream. A little bit too late. Very nice placements by the Ionic Storms. He really needs to get those Ravens to take care of the actual Colossus. How many Colossus does he have? We do have 5 Colossus, a very heavy Colossus build. A lot of pylons placed across the whole map, the whole width of the actual map, allowing IEM First to able to warp in any reserves at any time on anywhere on the map. Even though he does manage to take out one of the pylons, doesn't really matter. He has at least 3 more. Another pylon is going to be dropped though, but we do have a lot of observers on the actual field itself. More warpins, more harass coming in. Dark Templar, of course, is going to be very, very effective. They pretty much nearly one-shot kill SCVs, so this is going to be very, very, very effective. We don't have a missile turret here, so this is going to be very, very effective. And finally he does spot that out, that we do have the actual Dark Templar in play. A very effective play though. We do have that one missile turret placed here, unfortunately not really where it needs to be. That push is finally moving in by IEM First. IEM First is going to be moving forward. If the Psionic Storm does hit the proper positioning, that will be the end of it. Unfortunately he didn't get still into place. Finally, very heavy, very perfect Psionic Storm placement there. All the Marines are going to be dropped off, and this is pretty much it for MVPDream. MVPDream calls it a GG, and that is it. This was the third game between these two players. Overall, I didn't like the actual play by MVPDream. I did presume that his actual composition could have been slightly better in terms of dealing with actual IEM First Stalker, Colossus, of course, a Dark Templar build, and Archon. He didn't really have the composition to counter that out. He kept losing, but he unfortunately kept consistent to stay with that composition, and that of course cost him the game. So as always, happy gaming. See you guys in another game. Bye.